Oops. The House Education Committee will come to order. Will the clerk please take the roll?
Chair Colazar.
Here.
Representatives Churches.
Present.
Shannon.
Present.
Stone.
Here.
Weiss.
Here.
Glanville. Conlon.
Here.
Edwards. Wagella. Green.
Here.
Markkinen.
Here.
Paquette.
Here. Of course.
Wenzel.
Greenhouse.
Johnson.
Here.
Mr. Chair, you have 10 members present. You have a quorum.
Thank you, appreciate it. Representative Markkinen moves to approve the minutes from the April 11th meeting without objection, so ordered. We will begin taking testimony on Senate Bills 161 and 162 dealing with interstate reciprocity for teachers and counselors. Would the senators or representatives of the senators like to come up? Yeah, Senator McCain, you can come up too. We'll just have everybody at once. I'm sorry? Yeah, come on up. We'll just do everyone at once since they connect. Okay, whenever you're ready.
Good morning, Chairman Colazar and members of the House Education Committee. Thank you for giving me the opportunity to testify on this important legislation today. My name is Jade Jordan, and I serve as Operations Director to State Senator Erica Geis. Senator Geis is sorry that she could not attend today's meeting to provide testimony, and she sends her regrets. Simply put, this package puts Michigan on the fast track to recruit highly qualified, experienced professionals from out of state, out of country, and from federally recognized Native American tribes. Senator Geis's bill, SB 161, is targeted toward teacher recruitment, and Senator McCann's bill, SB 162, includes provisions for school counselors. To speak to the need for SB 161, according to the Michigan Department of Education, more than 1,000 teachers in each of the last 5 years have been initially certified outside of Michigan and then subsequently within the state. We can fill the teaching gaps in our schools faster by reducing the regulatory barriers currently associated with Michigan teacher certification. This bill waives the mandatory 3-credit-hour reading requirement to earn a provisional certificate that is a barrier for teachers to come to Michigan and start teaching immediately. However, those taking advantage of this opportunity would need to earn those same 3 credit hours before earning their professional teaching certificate as opposed to a provisional one. The teacher would need to provide proof of successful teaching for the last 3 years in another state, country, or tribe. Additionally, this bill allows for state superintendent to accept passage of an equivalent examination to the Michigan teacher certification test for an individual who holds a teaching certificate from another state, country, or federally recognized Native American tribe. Finally, should this bill pass into law, state superintendent could issue additional endorsements to a valid Michigan teaching certificate that is comparable to the state, country, or tribe that it was earned without taking Michigan examinations if they provide evidence of 3 years of successful teaching in the area of endorsement. If needed, however, the state superintendent can deny issuance of a certificate or endorsement if there is evidence of misrepresentation, concealment, or conviction of a crime that would qualify for revocation in Michigan law. As we work to make Michigan a more competitive economy, we can and should be recruiting experienced, high-quality teachers from out of state to help develop our students to become the best and the brightest. This starts in Michigan classrooms, and I welcome your questions.
Senator, if you just want to go to, then we'll have questions after both.
Good morning. Thank you for the opportunity to testify before you today about my Senate Bill 162. As you likely know, our school counselors are on the front lines of providing academic and career development, social and emotional development, advocacy, and leadership to our students. Currently, we're having many conversations about mental health, and it is crucial that our schools have access to counselors that can serve students. Much like teachers, our schools are facing a shortage of school counselors who must hold a master's degree in school counseling with approximately 600 practicum hours. While some pipeline programs have started allowing future counselors to be employed under the supervision of certified school counselors to achieve these practicum hours, the scope of practice requires specific professionals for specific roles in this space, which makes the shortage even more difficult to address. According to the National Education Association, 84% of educators support hiring more counselors and school psychologists. Not only do students need more support, but teachers also need the help of counselors to support their students. Hiring more counselors and school psychologists can help to create a more positive school culture. Counselors can visit classrooms, teach lessons about social and emotional awareness, and be one more trusted adult for students to rely on. In light of the situation, doing more is necessary to help support our children. Similar to SB 161, my bill focuses on expanding reciprocity for out-of-state school counselors in these ways. In recognition of demonstrated skill, it allows for 3 years of school counselors' experience for out-of-state applicants in lieu of the Michigan test for teacher certification. It provides parity between licensure and certification types by reducing the experience requirement for out-of-state counselors from 5 years of experience within the previous 7 years to 3 years of experience at any time. And it expands reciprocity to other countries and federally recognized Native American tribes. It also makes other clarifications and changes. For example, it ensures school counselor preparation programs are able to maintain current and emerging skills and issues by redirecting listed skills and content areas into preparation program standards. It codifies rules by adding preliminary and temporary license options, which allow for individuals to be employed while completing remaining licensure requirements. In closing, thank you for the opportunity to speak to my bill. If you have further questions, we have staff here from the Michigan Department of Education to elaborate, and we're available to answer any questions you may have. Thank you, Mr. Chair.
Thank you, and thank you for coming in today. One question has to do with the 3 years of experience from another state. Can you talk about why that's important to include in the bill?
Yeah, well, certainly wouldn't want to have someone be moved into Michigan without any experience in the profession, but to give some flexibility to incorporate maybe experience accumulated on non-sequential professional positions would still count towards that reciprocity.
Representative Weiss.
Thank you, and thank you for these bills. I think they're incredibly important to help remove a lot of the barriers that teachers face in moving to our state. I will share that too that I feel very strongly about this because I know I affected me personally when I first moved to Michigan, and I know many other teachers who moved to Michigan and having to pay large fees in taking MTTC tests and other certification needs in order to transfer your license. And I will say too, on the budget side of things, on the appropriation side, at least in the House budget, in the MDE budget, we did also include funding for waiving MTTC costs for first-time test takers for both in-state and out-of-state to help alleviate those costs for people who we still want to make sure that they have those qualifications, but try to, again, remove some more of those cost barriers as well.
Representative Conlon, did you have a question?
Yes, thank you, Mr. Chair. Thanks for the presentation. Do we have any idea how this might help us in Michigan in terms of creating, more recruitment and retention of our teachers? Do you have any projection of how changing this law will help us in Michigan to have more teachers coming here?
Let the MD talk to that. Be a good question for them to.
Hi, I'm Cheryl Kennedy, the legislative liaison from Michigan Department of Education. So we know that 25% of our teachers are currently moving in from out of state. So we know that that's even with these barriers, but we hear year over year a number of professionals who say, I thought I could just come to Michigan and be a teacher, but then when I got here, I realized it was a year to a year and a half before I'd be able to get my licensure, and then they leave the profession. So we also know that Michigan is more and more, we are becoming a destination state for educators, as in other states there's more and more, or I should say less and less, allowability of respect for teachers to use their master's level education and curriculum and things. Michigan's really kind of becoming a place where teachers want to go from other states. So we don't have a formal projection, but we do believe that this will definitely help in moving those teachers from other states to Michigan, and we look forward to that challenge.
Representative Glanville.
Thank you, and pardon my tardiness this morning. We have new construction patterns in the Grand Rapids area. Thank you for your testimony and for bringing this up. Like Representative Weiss, I have a personal story around certification. I was originally certified in Michigan. I moved to Illinois and was able to gain an Illinois certificate through reciprocity when I tried to boomerang back to Michigan, despite being certified in Spanish and English and 10 years experience teaching ESL and doing curriculum design in that area in Illinois. I was not qualified to do that work in Michigan. And it was one of the things that started me on the road to the State House because I couldn't teach. I couldn't teach anymore. I changed my trajectory, went on with my graduate degree, got my master's in ed tech, and took that route. So I was always able to stay in education, but it was a lost teacher because I was being asked to go back to school and gain college credits and certification, for work that I was well experienced in. So it was a very frustrating process, and I really appreciate you bringing this forward because it's time. We need to be able to recognize the experts we have here in the state of Michigan, take advantage of them to be in our schools with our kids.
Thank you. Representative Paquette.
Thank you, Mr. Chair, and appreciate the bills. Very supportive of these, and this is more of a question for Dr. Kennedy. When I was going through this, took the MTTCs and the subject areas and passed them or whatever, but then the credits that I had when I was teaching didn't add up, and so does the superintendent then have the ability, even if a teacher is going to go into a content area, to, I guess, offer up the endorsement or what have you to teach, even if the college credits aren't all lined up there as well? Does that streamline that too?
I can only speak for our office of Educator Excellence, and what I can tell you is that they have a rubric that they use. It's been through an approval process to align out-of-state experience and out-of-state education and out-of-state assessments, professional assessments, to what we have here in Michigan. So they go through a process, and then they present that to our state superintendent, Dr. Rice, and he makes sure that there is alignment. So if that alignment may come into place due to experience teaching in a subject area, or it may come into alignment because of an assessment, I can't speak to that. What I can say is that all of those factors are taken into consideration when making sure that the professionals coming into Michigan align with the professionals who are already in Michigan.
Representative Stone.
Thank you, Mr. Chair, and thank you for this legislation. I'm not usually a fan of compacts or interstate agreements that require us to give up our oversight as a state. But the one thing I appreciate about this legislation is there's still a requirement for new to Michigan educators to reach that educational attainment. But it gives them that window of flexibility. I saw this firsthand when my brother-in-law was planning on moving back, and it was a year delayed because he had to take the reading coursework. But, to get him back to Michigan sooner and to help him qualify, and any educators interested, and give them that window, it's very helpful. Thank you.
Okay, I guess one last thing I would emphasize too, I always go back to the position I entered back in 2006 had 64 applicants, and the position I left in 2018 had 4, and it's only gotten worse. So thank you for bringing this legislation, and not seeing any further questions. Thank you very much. There being no absent member, oh, we do have cards. Ooh, good catch. Okay, we have some cards first. Not wishing to speak, supporting the bill, Bob Kefchin, MASSP. Not wishing to speak, supporting the bill, Jennifer Smith, MASB. Not wishing to speak, supporting the bill, Dave Watkins from Michigan Manufacturers Association. Not wishing to speak, supporting the bill, Peter Spatafor, Michigan Alliance of Student Opportunity. Not wishing to speak, supporting the bill, Chris Glass, Education Advocates of West Michigan. Not wishing to speak, supporting the bill, Jerry Johnson, Berry Branch, Calhoun, Jackson, Lenawee, and Monroe ISDs. Not wishing to speak, supporting the bill, Molly Masick from the Mackinac Center for Public Policy. Not wishing to speak, supporting the bill, Matt Schuler, Michigan Association of Superintendents and Administrators. Not wishing to speak, supporting the bill, Dr. David Michelson, Michigan Education Association. Not wishing to speak and double supporting the bill, Jennifer Smith from Michigan Association of School Boards. Not wishing to speak, supporting the bill, double support again, Dr. David Michelson, Michigan Education Association. And there being no absent members and no further business before the committee will stand adjourned. Thank you.